In this video, we're going to look at rates as a special application of ratios. So if you recall back to ratios, ratios compares quantities that are all measured in the same way. Okay, so if you're mixing cordial, for example, you're measuring liters for liters, for example, or milliliters for milliliters. So, it could be, for example, mixing cement. You could be kilograms of sand to so many kilograms of cement to so many kilograms of gravel, all measured the same way, okay, in terms of the unit of measure. Rates, however, are slightly different. Rates compares two quantities or more, but in different units of measure. So, for example, the wage of an employee is a rate expressed usually in dollars per hour. It could be dollars per day, dollars per week, per year for someone who's on a salary. So as an example, someone could have a job earning $20 per hour. Now, notice how the rate is written. So the two units here, for example, we're using dollars as one of the units, the measurement of one of the units. Hour is a measure of time. Okay, so this is, for example, where this is dollars. Okay, so that's one unit of measure. Hour is a unit of time. Okay, and so we're comparing dollars with time. Ratios compares dollars with dollars, or time with time, or kilograms with kilograms, or liters with liters. Okay, rates allow you to express quantities using different measures. Notice also that the slash here, this means, this is actually the word per. Okay, so it's just a bit of a shortcut. So that's this word here, okay, this is really the slash there, so it's per hour. What else are we looking at here? Okay, now notice also that the word hour doesn't have a number next to it. $20 per hour really means $20 per 1 hour. Okay, not per 3 hours or 5 hours, per 1 hour. But because it's just per 1 hour, we don't have to show the 1. Okay, so the 1 does not have to be there at all. Okay, so I'll just get rid of that. So when it's just a word on its own, the second term here of the rate, we always assume that it's a 1 there. Other examples of rates include, for example, heartbeat pulse or heart rate, and that's normally beats per minute. So how many beats per 1 minute? So for example, the cost of fuel, dollars per litre is a common measure. So again, the 2 units dollars for one of the units, the other units litres, okay, 2 different units. The speed of a car, okay, that's a very important one. That's a rate that we use very, very commonly. The 2 units that we measure is a unit of distance, which is kilometres, and versus unit of time, okay. So this is why rates are really important. It's like 2 things that are changing compared to each other. So when a car is moving or a car is traveling on the road, it's covering distance, okay, but over a period of time. Okay, so obviously the faster the car is going, the more kilometers it's covering per unit of time. Let's have a look at, there's one other point that I want to go through, and that's this point here. Okay, so rates are usually written in what we call simplified form. Okay, that's where the second term of the rate is a 1. Now we already spoke about that already. Remember we spoke about the number of the second term. So for example, hour, right, it's got to be a 1. Okay, if it's not a 1, it's not a simplified rate. Okay, so let's have a look at these 3 examples quickly. So the first rate, and that's actually a speed or a type of speed, 240 kilometers covered in 4 hours. Okay, so writing that as a rate, okay, we're going to write it unsimplified first. So that's 240 kilometers, okay, per 4 hours. Okay, remember the slash means per, not per. We want it per hour though, not per 4 hours. I don't want this 4 here. It needs to be a number 1. Okay, so in order for the 4 to become 1, we're going to divide that by 4. But what you do to one term of the ratio, we need to do to the other one. Sorry, it's a rate. I called it a ratio. It's actually a rate because we're comparing two different units of measure here. So 240 divided by 4 is 60 kilometers per. Now 4 divided by 4 is 1. So rather than writing 1, I'm just going to write the word hour. Okay, so that's 60 kilometers per hour. That would be the speed of the car. Let's have a look at part B. $320 for 8 hours work. So that looks like a wage of sorts. Okay, let's write it first as a rate that's unsimplified. Okay, so we'll write down 320, okay, per 8 hours. Okay, so that would be the wouldn't be the hourly rate, that would probably be the rate per day of work, for example, a normal 8-hour day of work. And we want it per hour, so again we're going to divide that by 8. 8 divided by 8 is always 1. You know, so for example, if you take two numbers that are identical and you divide them, you get 1. Now, what we do to one term of the ratio, let's do to the other. Okay, so $320 earned in 8 hours work. 320 divided by 8, okay, you can check that on your calculator, it's going to be $40, okay, per hour. Okay, so that would be the hourly rate. Okay, so again, rates normally are expressed in this simplified form. All right, now what about the last one? So the last one, this is one, sorry, example C, okay, 35 heartbeats in 0.5 minutes, okay, but we want it as a rate in beats per minute, per 1 minute, as a simplified rate. So that's 35 beats, okay, per 0.5 minutes. All right. Now, on your calculator, okay, first of all, we want it as a rate per minute, so not per half a minute. So what we're going to do, we're going to divide 0.5 by 0.5 because we want it to equal 1. What you do to one side of the rate, you do to the other side as well. Okay, on your calculator, you enter in 35 divided by 0.5 and you will get, okay, no surprises, 70 beats per minute. Okay, so that's beats per minute.